Hey, what's up, guys? It's me, Gus. You already know who I am. A lot of people don't really know my story, and this video really isn't my story. It's just like 10% of my story, I guess. I really wanted to talk about purpose and how sometimes you think your life is heading somewhere, and God is like, no. So, just to start off, if you don't know me, I run a music studio. It's Vision Studios here in Bryan College Station. I also run a online radio station that plays local Bryan College Station artists. And I also, on top of that, I have my own news article blog online as well that highlights local music as well. And on top of that, I'm trying to add this to that list. And basically, I want this to be like a ministry. I'm praying this could lead to exposing people to Christ that hadn't heard of him, or maybe have been misinformed about Christ or been church hurt, you know? So my story begins when I was a kid. You know, obviously purpose is something where like everybody tries to find what they're made for. Everybody tries to find their purpose. And as a kid, I wanted to do sports, and I wanted to specifically soccer. And my mom was not a fan. You know, I did break my fingers often. I did sprain my ankle and whatnot. And so my mom was very like, yeah, you're not doing sports, you're gonna die. And I mean, to this day, I wish I did sports, but oh well, she didn't let me do sports. It's fine. It is what it is. And so now I'm basically at this point, I'm just a kid that doesn't have his purpose. And so I decided to pick up an instrument. I decided to play piano for the first time with my dad, because honestly, music, I grew up around music, but music wasn't my thing. Like my dad was in a band when he was younger, so I've always been around music. I've always been around churches. I've always been around worship bands and whatnot, right? Musicians. But I didn't pick up to be a musician myself. Like basically, my thought process was, my dad is passionate about music. I'm his son. Like honestly, like it sounds bad. It does sound bad, but I really only picked up an instrument just to bond with my dad. Just so me and my dad could have that Wednesday night where he sits down with me, teaches me piano and stuff. That's really the only reason. I know it might sound bad, but that's the truth. And even as I was playing an instrument like at home, it didn't feel like that was my calling. It didn't feel like that was my purpose. Again, because in the back of my mind, it was like a bittersweet thing where like, I'm really only doing this to bond with my dad, but it's not something I'm like crazy about. You know, later on I got crazy about it, but at the time, God gravitates people to his will, his calling. Once you fully surrender, once you fully submit, God has plans. You know, Jeremiah 29:11, you already know it. And so even now, what I do is I work with a lot of artists, you know, hundreds of artists a month, you know, just recording their music and helping them out with their artistry. And I love what I do, guys. I do love what I do. I think I have a great job. I think I have like the best job in the world, honestly. Like the fact that I'm able to do this full time, it's a blessing. Even now, I'm an adult. I don't feel like this studio thing is my purpose. Like I know a lot, that's a hot take. I know a lot of people are gonna be like, bruh, like you're the studio guy here. Like, what do you mean? But what I mean is, the only time I feel content and I feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing is when I'm worshiping. Now, this doesn't mean playing piano at church. Worshiping and worship is just being in God's presence, and there's a lot of ways to go about that. It isn't just a song with 4 chords. Being in God's presence is how you honor your parents, how you treat your wife, your spouse, whoever, how you treat your neighbor, literally. That's what worshiping means. It's how am I honoring God and what I'm doing right now, right? But specifically, since we're on music, the topic of music, when I pick up an instrument at church, or to worship, or just worshiping in front of others, or even just myself in a room, when I pick up an instrument, that's my purpose. Like I just know it is, like, because my heart feels content. My heart feels like this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to use music in a way to lead people in God's presence. That's what worship is all about. And so now I'm in a place where I'm like, okay, how do I do that with my job? How do I do that with the radio? How do I, but yeah, I just want to talk about that purpose. God gives me purpose. And if you don't know what your purpose is, guys, like, keep searching. And sometimes you're going to have to get uncomfortable. I was uncomfortable picking up an instrument. I didn't want to, but I did. And everything led to this moment. Everything led to me finding out what my real calling was, what my real purpose is. That's my purpose. Everybody has their own purpose. And very quick, I did want to read a Bible verse real quick, because there are times when you're carrying out God's purpose in your life, you feel like you're not supposed to be in this situation, or you feel like you're not qualified to be in this position, right? 2 Corinthians 3:5 says, "It is not that we think we are qualified to do anything on our own. Our qualification comes from God." Guys, whatever you're doing, like if you feel like you're not qualified, if you feel like that's not your purpose, if it's God's will, you'll be qualified. Like, there's no way that I'm in this position where I've even won awards, you know what I mean? Like I never, music was not part of my plans growing up, and it wasn't part of my plans, up until not even 3 years ago, when this became my thing, when this became where I'm heading, and I'm just following God, I'm being obedient, and I'm just going where God takes me. But find your purpose. And sometimes your purpose comes in the form of a Trojan horse. It looks like something, but it's really something else that God will later reveal to you. And so purpose is very important, and I thank God that I found my purpose. And if you feel like you don't have purpose, or if you don't know what your calling is, if you feel like every day feels like wasted potential, pray about it. Literally open your Bible, talk to God, pray about it, and God will reveal it to you. Literally pray, ask God, what is my purpose? What do you want to teach me? Where do you want me to go? And I promise you, God is going to answer. So yeah, guys, that's it. Short video. Hope you guys enjoyed. But yeah, God bless.